No one failed more than I did. I deserved all the credit I've received. Nobody's seen more than I've seen. None of these fighters, none of these athletes. I'm the king of the barbarians. There's no one that could surpass me in the pain I've endured.
For too long, our efforts throughout history have gone unknown by our own. We are led to believe from birth that we were nothing more than slaves and helpers without their own endeavors. Our collective conscience rejecting this false reality, as deep within our spirits we can feel that this is not the case. Our adversaries only documenting our trauma through film and media in order to neuter us, but it has never worked. Still, despite their degrading tactics, the Zamint man can't help but be as proud and bold as his forefathers before this him. Pride even being evident in our youngest children and our frailest women. Little does the Zamint man know of his own victories as he does his defeats, as he has been indoctrinated by his own oppressors. Little does he know that only 1,000 years beforehand, he has defended against Muslim invasions and Roman expansions, ignorant even to the fact that he had freed himself. The enemy fooling us into believing that it was mercy which made men free, when it was really in his best interest. When it was Toussaint and Dessalines that had beat back the French, the Spanish, and the British, utilizing an army of freed slaves against the three strongest powers of their generation, all desperate to push them to defeat, and all fell. The Zamint man, ignorant of his escaped ancestors, which went further south instead of north, coming together as an army of escaped captives, uniting themselves with the natives to come back to plantations and wreak havoc. These vengeful men of the Gullah Geechee of Florida would result in the most costly war unto Vietnam, not knowing of his own Achilles, Emperor Sundiata, who had founded the Malian Empire, the richest of its time, after defeating the sorcerer king that had terrorized West Africa for generations. Zamint man, whether you deem yourself an intellectual, an athlete, or worst of all, a thug, this warrior spirit lives deep within you, and it is evident in all of our triumphs. It resonates with the warrior spirit of all others, and it is why we are perceived as hypermasculine. It is why we are objectified for our male qualities which we have no control over. It is why we are slandered for every achievement, because every achievement for us, to our enemies, to their descendants, is a conquest. A conquest to their ego, to their manhood and their pride, which has been built upon for generations, as they have prized themselves as men who have overcome all odds, when in all reality, that is what we are faced with every day, and it is evident to the entire world, as they look to those who have devoured this world, and say, if they cannot kill the spirit of the Zamint man, how may I ever reach the pinnacle of existence? In physicality, in strong-mindedness, and in aesthetic, how could I ever outdo such men without devaluing oneself or joining the hatred? So they add fire to the hate and seek to destroy us once more. Even my acknowledgement of the truth enrages them as I speak. So what is to be done but to turn Zamint man against Zamint man and train them to fight over everything besides their collective prosperity? But worry not, for this is the last stage of slavery, their last hope to neuter us. And if it isn't evident yet, the Most High looks upon us with a smile for all that we have overcome. So turn from the crowds, embrace being the black sheep, and abandon the shepherd. For this flock of men have always been our leaders, and always led us to further victory. But the king who follows the peasants will die and will never know of his fullest potential.